Have you ever wondered why Jews historically have been so financially successful? Do you want to discover the ancient secrets that can transform your financial life once and for all? In this video, we will reveal the principles that make the Jewish community one of the most prosperous in the world and how you can apply these strategies to achieve wealth and financial freedom. Imagine being able to live without money worries, investing wisely, and ensuring a prosperous future for your family. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to pay bills at the end of the month, this video is for you. We'll explore practices and philosophies ranging from financial education to business mindset that can revolutionize how you handle money. Stay with us until the end and discover how to turn financial challenges into opportunities for growth and prosperity. Are you ready to change your life and start your journey towards wealth? Let's go. The history of the Jews is marked by challenges and achievements that shaped a resilient and prosperous community. Since biblical times, Jews have faced numerous adversities, starting with the diaspora, the dispersion of their people across different parts of the world. This forced dispersion not only tested their faith and resilience, but also compelled them to adapt to new cultures and economies. In each new environment, Jews developed exceptional skills in trade and finance, a legacy that continues to be admired today. In the Bible, we find emblematic figures illustrating Jews' ability to thrive even in adverse circumstances. Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers, rose to power in Egypt thanks to his wisdom and ability to interpret dreams. He not only saved Egypt from famine, but also accumulated great wealth and prestige, becoming an example of how faith in God and intelligence can lead to prosperity even in times of hardship. Another biblical figure exemplifying prosperity is King Solomon, renowned for his immense wisdom and wealth. Solomon asked God for wisdom to govern his people, and as a result, was blessed not only with wisdom but also unparalleled riches. Under his reign, Israel experienced a period of great prosperity and peace, attracting traders and kings from other nations who sought his counsel and engaged in trade, further strengthening his kingdom's economy. The Bible is rich with verses demonstrating God's desire for his people's prosperity. Jewish history is also rich with examples of how the community used its faith and principles to prosper. During the diaspora, Jews often found themselves at a disadvantage, without land or titles. However, they excelled in areas such as commerce, finance, and craftsmanship, applying biblical principles of honesty, diligence, and cooperation. The Talmud, one of the primary works of rabbinic literature, emphasizes the importance of education and hard work, elements that have become pillars of Jewish culture. This adaptation and ongoing success are evidence that prosperity is a gift from God, as promised in the Scriptures. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 reminds us, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." This verse encapsulates the belief that true prosperity comes from God, who grants wisdom and skills to his people. Thus, by applying these principles and maintaining faith, anyone can tread the path to prosperity, following the example of the Jewish community over the centuries. The Jewish emphasis on education and the pursuit of knowledge is one of the fundamental pillars explaining the community's continued success over the centuries. Since biblical times, study and the quest for knowledge have been seen as forms of worship and fulfillment of God's commandments. In Deuteronomy 6 verses 6 to 7, we read, "These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up." This commandment to teach God's law in all circumstances highlights the importance of continuous and comprehensive education. The figure of Moses is emblematic in this context. Moses was educated in the wisdom of Egypt, but his true knowledge and leadership came from learning and direct revelation from God. He wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, known as the Torah, which became the foundation of Jewish teaching and study. The study of the Torah was not just a religious practice, but a means of understanding the laws, morals, and principles governing life, emphasizing the integration of secular and spiritual knowledge. In Judaism, education is not limited to childhood. Jewish tradition values lifelong learning. The Talmud, one of the central texts of Rabbinic Judaism, is a vast compendium of debates, discussions, and interpretations of the law. Spending hours studying the Talmud is seen as one of the highest forms of service to God. This ongoing practice of study and reflection develops critical thinking skills, analysis, and argumentation, which are highly valued and applicable in many areas of life, including business and finance. In addition to formal education, the Jewish community also values the transmission of practical and ethical knowledge from generation to generation. Proverbs 22 verse 6 instructs us, "Just start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old they will not turn from it." This verse reflects the importance of teaching not only religious precepts, but also practical skills and moral values from an early age. This solid foundation of education and values prepares future generations to face life's challenges with wisdom and integrity. Furthermore, the appreciation for knowledge and education among Jews is one reason they have thrived in various societies throughout history. Whether through religious study, pursuit of scientific knowledge, or application of ethical principles in commerce, dedication to continuous learning is a heritage that breeds success. As Proverbs 4 verse 7 states, "The beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." This commitment to education and knowledge is one of the secrets to the lasting prosperity and success of the Jewish community. The Bible is rich with verses that demonstrate God's desire for His people's prosperity. In Deuteronomy 8 verse 18, we read, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." This verse is a powerful reminder that the ability to create and accumulate wealth comes directly from God. He desires His people to prosper not only spiritually, but also materially, so they can live full and blessed lives. Another verse reinforcing this message is Jeremiah 29 verse 11. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This verse is a clear promise that God intends peace and prosperity for His people. Here, prosperity doesn't just refer to financial wealth, but to a general state of well-being and fulfillment in all areas of life. Psalm 1 verse 3 also highlights prosperity as a blessing from God. "That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither, whatever they do prospers." This psalm compares the righteous person to a tree planted by streams of water, suggesting that those who follow God's ways and meditate on His law are sustained and blessed with constant prosperity. This vivid image conveys the ideas of growth, stability, and abundance. Additionally, Proverbs 10 verse 22 states, "The blessing of the Lord brings wealth, without painful toil for it." This verse underscores that true prosperity is one that comes from God's blessings, without bringing suffering or distress. When we seek prosperity according to divine principles, we receive wealth justly and ethically, without the burdens often accompanying the materialistic pursuit of riches. Finally, in 3 John 1 verse 2, the Apostle John expresses a clear desire for prosperity for believers. "Dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well." This verse reveals that physical and material prosperity is desired by God, parallel to spiritual prosperity. God cares about all facets of His children's lives and desires to see them flourish in every aspect, reflecting His goodness and provision. These verses show that prosperity is part of God's plan for His people. He gives us the ability to produce wealth, plans for our success, and blesses us in ways that exceed our understanding. By following God's ways and living according to His principles, we can experience the full prosperity He desires for us. The strength of community and the power of networking are fundamental elements that have sustained the prosperity of the Jewish community throughout the centuries. In the Bible, we see numerous examples of how mutual support and community networks were crucial for the survival and success of God's people. In Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10, we read, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." This verse highlights the importance of having people around you to offer support and assistance in times of need, reflecting the value of support networks in both financial and spiritual life. The Bible also teaches us about ethics in business and investment practices that please God. In Leviticus 19 verse 13, we are instructed, "Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight." This commandment emphasizes the importance of treating others with fairness and integrity in business. Ethical practices are essential for building a solid reputation and a foundation of trust that is vital for any successful enterprise. Moreover, proverbs like Proverbs 13 verse 11, "A dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow," remind us that wealth obtained honestly is blessed and sustainable. Wise investing is another practice emphasized in the Bible, showing that we should be good stewards of the resources God has given us. In Matthew 25 verses 14 to 30, in the parable of the talents, Jesus tells the story of servants entrusted with money to invest. Those who invested and multiplied their talents were praised, while the one who hid the money was rebuked. This parable teaches that God expects us to manage well the resources He entrusts to us, using them productively and strategically to bear fruit and prosper. Careful financial management and the practice of saving are frequently mentioned in the Bible as paths to prosperity and security. In Proverbs 21 verse 20, we read, "Ye in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish person devours all he has." This verse highlights the importance of saving and managing resources wisely, contrasting it with the imprudence of spending everything at once. Saving isn't just about financial prudence. It's a biblical principle that promotes stability and preparation for the future. Finally, the Bible exhorts us to be diligent and careful with our money. In Luke 16 verses 10 to 11, Jesus teaches, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches?" This verse emphasizes that how we manage material resources reflects our ability to handle greater responsibilities. By practicing saving, prudent financial management, and ethical investment, we demonstrate fidelity to God's principles and position ourselves to receive greater blessings and responsibilities. Personal financial education is an essential component for achieving prosperity and financial stability. In the Bible, we find numerous pieces of advice on how to manage our resources wisely. In Proverbs 4 verse 7, we read, "At the beginning of wisdom is this, get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding." This implies that acquiring financial knowledge is crucial. To start, seek reliable sources of information such as books, online courses, and workshops on finances. Learning the basics of budgeting, saving, investing, and debt management is the first step towards a healthy financial life. Building effective support networks is another fundamental aspect of financial success. The Bible emphasizes the importance of community and mutual support in passages like Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10. "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." To build a strong network, engage in community groups, participate in networking events, and maintain contact with mentors and peers who share similar interests. These connections can provide valuable advice, business opportunities, and emotional support. Adopting ethical business practices is indispensable for building a solid and lasting reputation. In Leviticus 19 verse 13, God instructs us, "Do not defraud or rob your neighbor. Do not hold back the wages of a hired worker overnight." This commandment reminds us of the importance of treating everyone with fairness and integrity. Ethical business practices attract reliable clients and partners, creating a virtuous cycle of trust and success. Ensure compliance with all laws and regulations, be transparent in your transactions, and always act in a manner that reflects Christian values. Investing wisely is another crucial step towards financial prosperity. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25 verses 14 to 30 illustrates the importance of investing the resources entrusted to us by God. To invest wisely, start by defining your financial goals and assessing your risk profile. Diversify your investments to minimize risks and maximize returns. Consider investing in stocks, bonds, real estate, or mutual funds, and stay updated on market trends. Always seek advice from financial experts to make informed decisions. Management and saving are essential to maintaining financial health. Proverbs 21 verse 20 tells us, "In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish person devours all he has." To practice good financial management, create a detailed budget that includes all your income and expenses. Set savings goals and maintain an emergency fund equivalent to at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. This ensures you are prepared for emergencies and can avoid unnecessary debt. Faith and prosperity are deeply interconnected. In Philippians 4 verse 19, Paul assures us, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." Trusting God to provide for your needs and guide you in your financial decisions is crucial. Prayer and meditation on scriptures can provide clarity and peace in times of financial uncertainty. Additionally, being generous with your resources, as directed in Luke 6 verse 38, "Give, and it will be given to you," can open doors to unexpected blessings and prosperity. Cultivating a spirit of gratitude is vital for a balanced financial life. In 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 18, we are encouraged to give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Recognizing and thanking God for the blessings you already have can change your perspective and pave the way for more prosperity. A grateful heart tends to be more generous and open to opportunities to help others, which in turn can attract more blessings. 3 John 1 verse 2, "Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health, as it goes well with your soul." True prosperity involves spiritual, mental, and physical well-being. Seek balance in all areas of your life, keeping faith as your foundation. By following these biblical principles, you will not only build a solid financial base, but also experience the abundant life that God desires for you. The history of the Jewish people is filled with inspiring examples of financial success, reflecting faithful application of biblical principles of ethics, diligence, and faith. A notable example is the story of Joseph, recounted in the book of Genesis. Sold as a slave by his own brothers, Joseph was taken to Egypt, where despite numerous adversities, he rose to become Pharaoh's administrator. Thanks to his wisdom and ability to interpret Pharaoh's dreams, Joseph managed to save Egypt from a severe famine, generating wealth and prosperity for the nation. His story is a powerful testimony of how faithfulness to God and the application of gifts and talents can transform adversity into prosperity. Another biblical example of financial success is that of Solomon, son of David and king of Israel. Solomon asked God for wisdom to govern his people, and in response, God granted him not only wisdom but also unparalleled riches. Solomon's reign was marked by great prosperity and peace, and he is still known today for his wealth and wisdom. In 1 Kings 10 verses 23 to 24, we read, "Thus King Solomon excelled all the kings of the earth in riches and in wisdom. And the whole earth sought the presence of Solomon to hear his wisdom, which God had put into his mind." Solomon's story illustrates how seeking divine wisdom can result in abundant prosperity. In addition to biblical examples, we also find stories of success among Jews throughout history. A prominent figure is Mayer Amschel Rothschild, the founder of the Rothschild banking dynasty. In the 18th century, he began his career in Frankfurt, Germany, and through principles of honesty, hard work, and networking, he managed to establish a financial empire that influenced the global economy. The Rothschild story is a living testament to how the application of principles of diligence, support network, and financial management, as taught in the Bible, can lead to extraordinary success. Another inspiring story is that of Levi Strauss, a Jewish immigrant from Germany who settled in the United States and founded Levi Strauss & Company, famous for its jeans. Strauss started by selling dry goods, but his innovation and business acumen led him to create one of the most iconic clothing items in the world. His journey reflects the importance of adaptation, innovation, and business ethics. Levi Strauss's story is a clear example of how applying biblical principles of hard work, integrity, and innovation can result in great success. Finally, the story of Esther, a young Jewish woman who became Queen of Persia, is also a notable example. Although not directly related to financial wealth, Esther used her position and wisdom to save her people from destruction. Her courage and faith in God are remembered to this day during the celebration of Purim. Esther's story demonstrates how courage, faith, and application of biblical principles can lead to great achievements and blessings, not only for the individual, but for the entire community. These stories of success, both biblical and historical, clearly illustrate how faithful application of God's principles can lead to prosperity and positive impact. They remind us that by following biblical teachings of diligence, ethics, wisdom, and faith, we can overcome adversity and achieve the true prosperity that God desires for His children. The Bible is replete with accounts of financial blessings and miracles that occurred as a direct result of faith and obedience to God's principles. One of the most notable examples is that of Abraham, considered the father of faith. In Genesis 12 verses 2-3, God promised Abraham, "I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse, and all peoples on earth will be blessed through you." Abraham's unwavering faith and obedience to God resulted in great blessings, not only spiritual but also material, as he became extremely wealthy in livestock, silver, and gold. Another powerful example is that of Job. The story of Job, recounted in the book bearing his name, is a testament to how faithfulness to God can result in restoration and multiplied blessings. Job was a wealthy and righteous man, but lost everything in a short period of time. However, he remained faithful to God even amid trials. In Job 42 verse 10, we read, "After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before." Job's faith and obedience led to a miracle of financial and material restoration, demonstrating that God is faithful to reward those who remain faithful to Him. The New Testament also contains accounts of financial miracles resulting from faith. One example is the miraculous catch of fish recounted in Luke 5, verses 4-7. Jesus instructed Peter to cast the nets into the sea, despite having caught nothing all night. Peter obeyed, and as a result, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. This miracle not only demonstrated Jesus' power, but also the financial blessing that comes from obedience to His word. Peter and his companions saw their needs abundantly met by following Christ's instructions. Another impressive account is the multiplication of the loaves and fish. In Matthew 14 verses 13-21, Jesus fed a crowd of more than 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. This miracle not only met an immediate need, but also demonstrated God's power to abundantly provide from seemingly insignificant resources. The faith of those who brought what little they had was rewarded with a blessing that exceeded all expectations, illustrating how faith in God can result in miraculous provision. Finally, the story of the widow of Zarephath, found in 1 Kings 17 verses 8-16, shows the financial blessing that comes from obedience and trust in God. During a severe drought, God sent the prophet Elijah to the house of a widow who was on the brink of starvation. Elijah asked her to make a loaf of bread for him with the little she had, promising that God would ensure her flour and oil would not run out until the rain returned. The widow obeyed, and as promised, her provision did not run dry. This miracle was a direct response to her faith and obedience to God's prophet, showing that even in times of scarcity, God is able to abundantly provide for those who trust and obey Him. These biblical stories clearly demonstrate that faith and obedience to God's principles can result in financial blessings and extraordinary miracles. They serve as a powerful reminder that when we place our trust in God and follow His teachings, He is faithful to supply all our needs and bless us in ways that exceed our expectations. God's faithfulness to His promises is a constant source of encouragement and hope for all who seek Him wholeheartedly. If you have been blessed by these stories and teachings on faith, obedience, and prosperity according to God's principles, I invite you to subscribe to our channel. Here, we are committed to sharing life-transforming messages based on the wisdom and truth of Scriptures. By subscribing, you will not only have access to more inspiring and educational content, but also become part of a community of people seeking spiritual and financial growth. We are dedicated to praying for each subscriber, believing that God desires to bless and prosper each one of you. So, don't miss the opportunity to be part of this movement of faith and knowledge. Click the subscribe button, enable notifications to not miss any new videos, and join us on this journey of learning and spiritual growth. May God continue to guide and bless every step of your life. We look forward to sharing more meaningful content with you. Thank you for being part of our community.